So good morning, everyone. Welcome to our third session of movement and meditation. So today our focus is on the benefits of a morning practice for the mind. I'm going to bring in some movement and some brain gym, I suppose you would call it, to focus in on the mind this morning. But it can help us to manage stress, would help to improve our mood, potentially improve our confidence going out for the day as we sort of work more on boosting those happy hormones and lowering those stress hormones. And it can be great to improve our memory and brain functioning. So that's where we're going to bring in some of the cross movement, which is great for getting the left and the right brain working together. So first of all, we're going to have a little check-in with our mind. So you can do the, I'm going to stay seated for now, but you can do this lying down. So you can go straight into lying down, and because the movement will start from lying down. So just get yourself in a position that feels right for you. Give you a moment. And just arrive into this day, but arriving into this moment where your body is right now. You don't need to plan out the rest of the day just yet. So just having a little check-in with where our thoughts are today. Could we imagine ourselves sat on a hilltop watching the clouds go by, and our thoughts are in the clouds, sort of like speech bubbles, and we're just watching them? Maybe we could label them. Oh, that's a worry. That's a plan for today. That's a rumination. There goes a judgment. Just labeling the thoughts without getting involved in them. Reminding yourself that you are much more than the sum of your thoughts. And just check in with how you feel right now. How do you feel emotionally? Is there a joy, contentment, an excitement for the day ahead? Is there some irritability, some worry, maybe some sadness? Or is it something else? And where does this emotion sit in our body? Where do you feel it in your body? Would you imagine yourself giving this part of you a big hug? Being with whatever we feel rather than pushing it away. And if it's a positive emotion, would we really enjoy it and savor this moment? We're not trying to change anything, we're just checking in with where we are right now. This can help us plan for the rest of the day, what we might need, what activities might help us feeling energized. Maybe the next thing is to go and do that job that you've been putting off. If we're feeling maybe a little bit low, then what are we going to do to take care of ourselves today? This is a really good thing to do every morning, to just check in. As I said before, this is something that you could do in bed before you even think about getting up. I want you to send your attention all the way down into the feet, taking the legs out long if you've got the knees bent, and sending your attention into your feet. And you're just going to start by pointing and flexing the toes. You're just pointing and flexing the toes. And send your attention all the way into the muscles, into all the joints, the ligaments. But just this little movement with the feet sends a chain reaction all the way up the legs into the back. And then if you can plant the heels into the floor, we're sort of going to do the same thing, but we're trying to get a little bit of a a jig going with the body. So we're doing it a little bit faster, and we're just moving the body up and down on the surface. So the head starts to move a little bit. So this is really good for working into the fascia system in the body. A little bit of rocking. Just be careful that you don't go into cramping in the feet. And then find some stillness again. Notice how the body feels. And then let's draw the legs in towards the chest. So you could take hold of the shins, or you could take hold behind the thighs. Just draw the legs in and just take in a rock from side to side. And then see if you can make some circles in this position. So you can do it with the legs closed, or then we could even take some sort of, I suppose, little frog leg, breaststroke legs, sort of taking them out to the side, so working a little bit into the hips. And when you've gone one way, can you go the other way? Feels a little bit unusual. Go the other way. And then bringing the feet flat to the floor, just have a little tap through the toes. So we're just waking everything up. And then find a little bit of stillness again there. So always checking in with how you feel. Checking in with where those thoughts are. So trying our best to stay present. So it'll be quite normal for thoughts to still keep pinging in. Can you practice that labeling them? They're on the cloud, and just sending them off into the distance. When we lie with the feet on the floor and knees bent, we can take the feet wider and bring the knees in so that it feels a little bit more restful. So see which feels better for you, either just the feet with the knees apart, or a little bit wider and the knees coming in. So let's take a little focus on the breath like we were doing last week. Where can you feel your breath right now? And then can we make an effort to consciously breathe into the belly? So taking a big breath in, blowing the belly up on the in-breath, and then slowly releasing on the out-breath. See if we can take 5 of these really conscious breaths. So we're just going to work a little bit into the shoulders and the arms. So this time, as you take that big breath in, let's breathe in and raise the arms overhead. We can take them all the way to the floor behind us. If we've got the shoulder movement, or we could just bring them up to the sky. And then on the out breath, bring them back down either side of the body. So remember to work at where your body is. We can bend the arms and take them more out to the side rather than overhead. Just work at where your body is. What we're trying to do is to sync the breath with the movement. So we're breathing in as the arms raise. We might take a little pause, and then we're breathing out. So the challenge is to make it as slow as you possibly can. I'm sure we've potentially all got busy days ahead. So let's start off slow. Let's bring some conscious awareness and slowness into our day before everything gets busy. So just working at your pace. And you send your attention all the way into the arms. Notice how the arms feel. And then next time they come to rest at the side of the body, just bring them back down and just taking a moment again here. And we'll just take a little windscreen wiper with the legs, so moving from one side to the other. And then coming back to center. So this is your choice of whether you want to keep the legs bent or whether you want to take them out long. So I'll demonstrate first with the legs bent. So this is about that cross movement, getting the left and right brain working. The first thing you need to do is to engage your core muscles. So if you've tried to really flatten that arch out in the back, pressing into the mat, then with legs bent, we would raise into tabletop and then take the opposite arm overhead and then come back down. There's a little bit of a core workout as well. So we lift into tabletop with the opposite arm going overhead and back down. Or you can take the legs out long, still trying to press the back into the floor and engage in the core. And we could lift the leg here. So as you're engaging the core, we can't really breathe into the belly. We take more of a lateral breath into the mid and the top of the chest. So we could still breathe in as we raise the arm and the leg and breathe out. It's a bit like, imagine you've got a string attached to the leg with the arm, so the arm is pulling the leg up. But remember to pull in that core and flatten in the mat with the lower back. You've got 3 things to think about now. The breath, pulling in the core, and then opposite arm and leg. Hopefully, nothing else can ping in with the thoughts. And then wherever you are, just take one more. And then let's take a full body stretch. So I'm going to take our arms overhead, if that's available to us. If not, we can take them into cactus and just stretch through the legs. Imagine someone's pulling you at both ends. You're on a really stretching here. And then when you've had a good stretch, bring those legs back in center. And then let's rock again from side to side. So the next movement, if you got any back issues, I wouldn't advise doing this. But if your back feels okay, we're going to rock up to sitting. So we would rock up like this. But if that feels too much, then we can just come to one side of the body and come up. If you like rocking, I like rocking, and it's really great for the spine and your back's okay. You could have a few rocks there going up and down. So it's quite a nice massage for the spine. But see how you feel. Don't take it too far. I really enjoy it. And then bring yourself up to a seated position. So thinking about how we're sitting, So just because I've got my legs crossed doesn't mean that you have to have yours crossed. You could have them out in front of you. You could be sat on a chair, or if we were doing this in bed, we'd come to sit on the edge of the bed. Hopefully your bed's not that high that you can't get your feet on the floor at the side of the bed. So let's think about sitting up tall through the spine, shoulders back and down. And then let's take some circles here. So we're going to take some hip circles. And let the head and the neck be relaxed, go in one direction. Help to loosen everything off in the lower back, in the hips, in the pelvis. And then let's go in the opposite direction. Like it, Peter. Peter's getting his arms involved as well. So you could take your arms out in front. We normally call this stirring the pot. Or I don't know if I can even do that, Peter. He was like swinging the shot put and then straighten back up again. And we're going to take a few twists. These are really good for getting that spine moving in the morning, but also good for digestion. So getting the digestion moving as well. But we're going to take it slow. We're going to first see if we can twist just from the waist, from the lower back. So we're trying to isolate the different parts of our back, the lower back, mid and upper back. So it's a real gentle twist. I'm not moving my head. I'm moving my shoulders a little bit, but the movement is coming from my lower back. I guess it's about muscle memory and connecting different parts of your body and trying to isolate things. And then back to center. So going in the same direction, then let's take the waist. And then this time let's take the shoulders. So we're taking the mid back, but the head is still facing forward. Move the shoulders back, and then let's go all the way. So waist, shoulders, then head all the way over towards the back corner of the room. You can use the hand as just a little bit of support, but try not to lean into it. So you're still trying to sit up tall through the spine. Could use that opposite hand onto the thigh. Remember, you could be doing this on the edge, sat on the edge of the bed, or sat on a chair. And see if you can take those belly breaths here. We hold twist for a little bit. And then coming back to center. So when we hold positions, we're sort of restricting the blood supply in certain areas of the body. So then when we come back into a neutral position, we get a fresh flow of nutrients through the body. Right, so let's think about going the other way. So again, it requires a little bit of brain power. We're not taking everything with us. We're trying to just move this bit, and it's a little bit tricky, especially if we're a little bit stiff. It is a very small movement. And then back to center. And let's go hips and shoulders. And keep the head forwards if we can. And then back, center. Let's go all the way. So hips, shoulders, head. Maybe again, you take that opposite arm onto the thigh. See if you can come back to the breath. Have a check-in again with those thoughts. Often when we pause, thoughts start pinging in again. We pop them on the clouds. And as you stay here a bit longer, you might find that you've got a little bit more movement. So it's going to be tiny, and please don't really rank, push round. Just Take it gentle. Let's move the head back, shoulders and the waist. Then taking that pause again. Let's give ourselves a hug, so that this is going to help to round the spine when we've been straight in the spine. So taking your arms and just bending forwards a little bit, so you're sort of rounding the upper back. Maybe you take some movement from left to right. I always get pain here in the side of my back and the hips, so doing this really helps to stretch through that. And then take a big breath in, open up. This time you have to take that hug again, but you have to remember which arm was on the top and swap arms. So which arm was on the top. You might feel a little bit different, a little bit unusual. And coming back up the center. We're going to do one little brain exercise before we come to a little bit of visualization to rest. So hands out in front. Let's take one thumb out on one hand and one little finger on the opposite hand. Can you swap over? Yeah. So the more you practice it, the better you get. So this is the little brain exercise. If you need to wake your brain up in the middle of the day, have a go at doing this. I think it's better if you don't look at it. So this is that I've been practicing this quite a while with quite a lot of classes. So see how fast you can get doing that. Ooh, I'm doing it. There's another finger trying to get involved. And then shake out the hands. So last week we were practicing our B breath. So we're going to take 5 B breaths to center ourselves and bring ourselves into a place where we can have a little visualization. A B breath, if you missed last week or if you're watching the video, we take a big breath in like we normally do. And then on the out breath, we make a humming noise like this. Take 5 breaths like that. If you want to come back into lying down, you can do, or you can stay seated. It's up to you. Trying to take 5 of those breaths. So wherever you are now, taking a breath that feels comfortable for you. We're going to do a little visualization, help us harness the power of the mind. I want you to imagine that you are in a place where you feel calm, safe, happy. So maybe this is somewhere in your house, comfortable place. It could be in your bed, or maybe it's somewhere else, like you're at the seaside. Maybe you're relaxing somewhere that makes you feel safe, happy, and at peace. So can you bring that into your mind's eye? Think about using your senses to bring this picture alive. What are the colours in this place? What sounds can you hear? Are there other people with you? Are there sounds of nature? What's the surface like underneath your feet? You took a big breath in through the nose. What would the smells be like here? There's some comforting food that goes with this memory, with this visualization. So you're bringing this place to life in your mind's eye. this place that makes you feel safe, peace, happiness. And when you're in this place, I'm going to think about where that emotion sits in the body. For me, I feel those happy emotions in my heart center, but where do you feel it in your body? You feel a lightness in your shoulders. You feel it in your face, a smile and a brightness. Or is it somewhere else? So bring your attention to where you feel that positivity, whether it's peace, happiness, joy, whatever this place means to you. Where do you feel it in your body? And really hold on to it. Hold on to this place. Hold on to this feeling. So when you practice this, it sets off those happy hormones. It sets off those emotions that you feel when you're actually there. So this is something that you can practice any time of the day. You're busy at work, might not be possible to go to your place, if it's the seaside or resting at home somewhere, you can't go off and be there, but you can bring it into your mind. You can take 5 minutes to bring it to life. I would suggest trying this again today at some point. Maybe write yourself a note to remind yourself 5 minutes in my happy place. Even if it means that if you're in a busy office that you have to go and, I don't know, sit on the toilet so that you can do it in peace, whatever you need to do. Remind yourself today to take 5 minutes in your happy place. So just stepping away from that now, bringing your attention back to your body, back to where your feet are resting on the floor. Maybe take some wriggles in the fingers, gently blink the eyes open if you've still got them shut, and just have a little scan in your room. Find your favourite colour, or maybe you're at home, favourite part of the room or something that's in the room, maybe a picture of family, an ornament. Just take a look at that, or just find a colour that dominates your awareness. And then let's finish together by taking a big collective breath in. A big breath in and slow breath out. Let's go into our day finding our place of happiness, even if it's just within the mind. So thank you for joining me.